Do you realize that each morning you awaken is a priceless opportunity to shape your life? In the whirlwind of modern existence, we are easily swept away by worries and endless tasks, losing our sense of agency and direction. Yet, as the Buddha taught, it is the mind that determines our destiny. He once declared, "The mind is the forerunner of all things, the mind is their master, the mind creates them." In other words, every action, word, and thought arises from the intentions of our heart and mind. So how can we awaken this mind each day, guiding it toward goodness, peace, and wisdom? Drawing from years of practice and deep study of the Buddhist teachings, I wish to share with you 5 simple yet profoundly powerful mantras, guiding phrases you can embrace each morning to sow seeds of beauty not only for the day ahead but for an entire lifetime. These mantras are not hollow affirmations, they are golden keys forged from the Buddha's wisdom, designed to help you take charge of your destiny rather than being tossed about by life's currents. Cultivate inner strength, standing firm amidst every challenge. Nurture a heart of compassion and profound gratitude. Unlock the boundless potential that lies within you. Live with peace and awareness in every present moment. Join me as we explore each mantra and experience the wondrous transformation they bring. 1. Today, I take responsibility. Imagine life as a vast field. Each day, we sow seeds upon it, some bearing the promise of joy, creativity, and compassion, while others give rise to suffering, resentment, or laziness. When harvest time arrives, we cannot blame the soil, the weather, or others if the field yields only weeds. Today, I take responsibility is the moment we pick up the hoe, select seeds of virtue, and begin planting with clear intention. In our modern lives, this means refraining from blaming a demanding boss when work stalls, or pointing fingers at friends when relationships falter. Instead, we turn inward and ask, what have I contributed to this situation? What can I change right now? The image of a sailor navigating the open sea offers a beautiful metaphor for understanding responsibility in Buddhist teachings. The ocean of life is ever-changing, sometimes calm and gentle, sometimes raging with storms. In the Samyutta Nikaya, the Buddha likened life to a swirling river, where we must skillfully steer to cross its currents. A sailor cannot control the weather, but he can adjust the sails, steady the rudder, and choose his course. Likewise, we cannot prevent unexpected events, job loss, illness, or family disputes, but we can decide how to respond. In today's world, pressures from work, social media, and societal expectations often feel like a tempest engulfing us. For instance, when deadlines pile up and colleagues fail to lend a hand, it's tempting to lash out or vent frustration on those around us. But if we quietly affirm, "Today, I take responsibility," we pause, take a deep breath, and reflect, how can I reorganize my tasks? Where can I seek support? This shift moves us from passivity, being swayed by circumstances, to mastery over our mind and actions. In Buddhist terms, this is right effort, the diligent striving to steer the mind toward what is wholesome. Taking responsibility is not about self-blame or shouldering every fault, it is a transformation of perception from the mindset of a victim to that of a creator. In modern life, the trap of blame is a widespread affliction. When a project fails, we fault our teammates for not pulling their weight. When a relationship crumbles, we accuse the other of neglect. When health falters, we lament an overwhelming workload. Yet the Buddha's teachings remind us that blame only fuels anger, one of the 3 poisons that cloud the mind. He said, "The greatest enemy of humanity is oneself." When we endlessly look outward for causes, we forfeit the chance to look within for solutions. Consider this: if you, say, Emily, lose your job amid economic hardship, rather than drowning in resentment toward the company or the job market, ask yourself, what have I learned from this role? What skills can I refine for the next opportunity? This mindset not only eases suffering but builds resilience. Like the bamboo often cited in teachings, it does not shoot upward overnight but silently spreads deep roots for years beneath the soil. When storms strike, those roots anchor it, allowing it to stand tall and thrive. In our fast-paced society, such inner resilience enables us to face setbacks without breaking, turning adversity into a springboard for growth. Today's world is rife with upheaval, economic crises, pandemics, and strained relationships. Amid such chaos, a sense of powerlessness can easily take hold. Recent psychological studies suggest that feeling out of control is a primary cause of chronic stress and depression. Yet, today, I take responsibility serves as an anchor, steadying our mind against the drift. It reminds us that while we may not instantly alter external conditions, we always have the freedom to choose our attitude, effort, and even a new direction. For example, if you, James, find yourself stuck in a job that no longer inspires you, instead of grumbling, ask, what new skill can I learn to pivot to a different path? Where can I begin today? That choice is the ultimate freedom. As the Buddha taught in the Kalama Sutta, be a lamp unto yourselves. In our modern context, this freedom is not just self-determination but the power to live a meaningful life despite any pressure. Practicing this mantra each morning becomes a sacred ritual, blending mindfulness and right intention. Standing before a mirror, breathe deeply and say, "Today, I take responsibility." These are not mere words, they are a message to your subconscious. Their weight lies in the commitment to steer your own life, while their gift is liberation, freedom from fear, resentment, and the sense of being trapped. Try it in a real scenario. If you, Sarah, wake up late and miss an important meeting, rather than berating yourself or cursing the alarm, gently say, "Today, I take responsibility." Then send an apology email, reschedule your day, and learn from the moment for tomorrow. With this small shift in perspective, you craft the day anew with self-mastery and a spirit of growth. This mantra is not just a morning habit but a lifelong guide. In Buddhism, a mantra is more than words, it is a tool to align the mind, like a lighthouse piercing the darkness. Today, I take responsibility is a constant reminder that we are not victims of circumstance but authors of our own story. In a modern world of rapid change and mounting pressures, this mantra unlocks boundless potential, the potential to master the mind, transcend adversity, and live a life of fullness and meaning. 2. I aspire to growth. In our modern world, impermanence reveals itself more starkly than ever. Technology shifts at a dizzying pace, a job secured today may vanish tomorrow, and relationships come and go like the wind. Rather than succumbing to fear or resistance, this mantra invites us to embrace change as a companion on our journey. For instance, if you, Michael, lose your job to automation, instead of sinking into despair, say to yourself, "This is an opportunity to learn a new skill, to grow in a different direction." Growth is not a race to a finish line, it is a way of living, an attitude of perseverance, adaptability, and trust in the unfolding process. The image of a river flowing toward the vast ocean offers a beautiful metaphor for understanding the nature of growth. A river never halts before rapids or obstructing stones. It weaves, meanders, and even wears down rock over time to continue its course. In Buddhist teachings, this reflects viriya, the relentless effort on the path to awakening. The Buddha once said, "Even as slow as a tortoise, if you keep moving forward, you will reach the destination." Growth does not demand speed but persistence and the capacity to adapt. In modern life, we frequently encounter our own rapids, the pressures of work, personal setbacks, or emotional turmoil. Imagine, Emily, that you start a small business venture. You might face countless obstacles, limited funds, scarce customers, or fierce competition. If you stop and give up, your flow stagnates. But if you persist adjusting your approach, learning from missteps, and finding ways to push forward, you gradually reshape the landscape of your life. Growth, then, is not merely about achieving success, it is the process of forging resilience and flexibility in the face of every challenge. Today's society often ensnares us in the trap of perfectionism. Social media floods us with images of flawless lives, perfect bodies, dazzling careers, harmonious families. These portrayals can draw us into a spiral of comparison, self-blame, and feelings of inadequacy, not fast enough, not skilled enough, not successful enough. Modern psychology notes that such comparisons heighten stress and a sense of lack, contributing to mental health crises among the young. From a Buddhist lens, this is tanha, craving to become an idealized, unrealistic version of ourselves, obscuring the inherent value of who we are in this moment. We often shy away from discomfort. When faced with a nerve-wracking presentation, James, you might procrastinate or lose sleep to anxiety. Yet if you affirm, "I aspire to growth," you embrace that messiness as part of the journey. Ask yourself, what is this presentation teaching me? How does this nervousness train me in calm? By stepping into difficulty rather than fleeing it, you cultivate inner resilience. After a few faltering attempts, you'll notice your confidence growing, your voice steadier. Challenges are not here to defeat us but to refine us into stronger, more compassionate versions of ourselves. In our fast-paced world, curiosity is often undervalued. We seek instant answers, Google it, ask a friend rather than pausing to explore for ourselves. True growth, however, emerges from moments when we lean into discomfort. Consider learning to cook. The first time, Sarah, you might burn the dish. But instead of giving up, you try again, adjusting the heat and seasoning. Over time, you not only master the recipe but invent your own. Resilience springs from those trial and error moments, transforming failures into precious lessons. Growth is not a straight line but a spiral, as you might envision through the metaphor of a sculptor and a block of marble. To an untrained eye, the stone appears rough and flawed, but the sculptor sees the masterpiece hidden within. Each chisel strike is a step forward, sometimes slow, sometimes revisiting old mistakes, but gradually, beauty emerges. In Buddhism, this is the gradual path of practice, step by step unveiling wisdom and our true nature. In modern life, we easily grow discouraged when growth isn't swift. When you start exercising, Michael, you might hope for toned muscles in weeks, but the reality is a long journey of fatigue and soreness. Viewed as a spiral, each lift of the weights, even a slight increase, is a cycle of progress. Even when you rest or falter, skipping a few days, it remains part of the path, offering space to reflect and adjust. Growth is not a sprint but a marathon, requiring patience and faith, two vital qualities in Buddhist teachings. To live this mantra, begin each day with reflection: where will I grow today? This need not involve grand ambitions like a promotion or completing a massive project. It can be small steps, learning to stay calm in traffic, listening to a colleague instead of arguing, or jotting down a journal entry to understand your emotions. In the Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha taught that mindfulness is the foundation for observing the changes in body and mind. When you notice small strides today, you were more patient than yesterday. You plant seeds for enduring growth. For example, if you're learning a language, Emily, don't fixate solely on fluency, celebrate each new word you retain. Every word is a chisel mark on the stone, every sentence a spiral upward. At work, if a proposal is rejected, see it as a chance to refine your idea. Growth lies not in the final outcome but in how we meet each moment. Modern life brims with adversities that test our capacity for growth. The COVID-19 pandemic is a striking example. Many lost jobs, plunging into financial and emotional crises. Yet in that same period, those who aspired to growth adapted, learning online skills, starting home businesses, or taking time to heal their spirits. This proves that adversity is not an endpoint but an opportunity to reshape ourselves. Just as a lotus needs mud to bloom, we need challenges to mature. 3. I am capable. Imagine a tiny seed buried deep beneath the earth. At first glance, it appears frail, vulnerable, and unremarkable. No one would suspect it holds the potential to become a towering tree, its canopy stretching wide to shade an entire expanse. Yet within that seed lies all the genetic wisdom, vitality, and strength needed to break through thick soil and reach for the light. This journey requires time, water, sunlight, and nature's patient persistence. Likewise, the capacity within each of us is not immediately evident. It must be nurtured through practice, faith, and unwavering effort. In Buddhist teachings, this is the process of cultivation, cleansing ignorance to reveal our inner radiance. In modern life, we might liken it to learning a new skill, like playing the guitar or coding a program, initially daunting, but through small, steady steps, our potential unfolds. To illustrate this further, let us delve into the seed's journey. Planted in the soil, it faces darkness, the weight of the earth pressing down, and the absence of light. Yet these harsh conditions awaken the seed, prompting it to crack its shell, sprout, and stretch upward. In Buddhism, this mirrors suffering, one of the Four Noble Truths, not as an enemy but as a teacher, urging us toward maturity. The seed does not lament its smallness or compare itself to a fully grown tree. It simply does what is needed, absorbing water, seeking light, and growing day by day. In our modern lives, we often overlook this principle. When embarking on something new, say, learning a language, Sarah, you might feel discouraged by your first fumbling sentences or forgotten words. But with persistence, like the seed piercing through soil, you'll find yourself conversing fluently, perhaps even dreaming in that tongue. This process not only builds skill but reinforces the belief that you are capable of surpassing the limits you once set for yourself. Capacity, then, is not a destination but a journey, a series of small steps accumulating over time. Today's world, with its explosion of social media and technology, poses significant challenges to self-belief. Daily, we witness others' triumphs, luxurious travel photos, career milestones, or videos of perfect lives. These images unwittingly craft an illusionary standard, prompting us to compare and question, am I good enough? Do I measure up? Modern psychology identifies this as a trigger for imposter syndrome, where we doubt our abilities despite tangible achievements. When the Buddha left his palace to seek liberation, he faced no support from family or society. His father, King Suddhodana, was anxious, his former teachers were skeptical, and the people of his time saw him as an eccentric. Within his mind, he battled Mara, the embodiment of fear, doubt, and temptation. Yet the Buddha refused to be swayed by these voices. Sitting beneath the Bodhi tree, he resolved, I will not rise until I attain enlightenment. It was this unshakable faith in his inner strength that carried him through every trial to nirvana. This is not merely a legend but a living lesson for us today. In our modern context, Mara might manifest as workplace stress, criticism from peers, or the fear of failure when launching a venture. When you affirm, I am capable, Michael, you echo the Buddha's spirit, declaring that challenges are not walls but stepping stones to growth. For instance, if a job interview ends in rejection, rather than shrinking into self-doubt, see it as a chance to hone your communication skills or seek a better suited path. Faith is the flame that lights the way, and persistence is the fuel that keeps it burning. Consider the simple yet profound act of learning to ride a bicycle. At first, Emily, you mount the bike with trembling legs, hands gripping the handlebars tightly, heart pounding with the fear of falling. Your initial attempt might send you wobbling into a bush or crashing to the ground. Failure floods your mind, and the question arises, can I do this? But if you press on, a marvel unfolds. Your body learns to balance, your feet find rhythm, and soon you're pedaling smoothly, a radiant smile breaking across your face. That moment of breakthrough is not just the joy of success, it's proof that you can transcend your own boundaries. This mirrors the Buddhist principle of dependent origination. All things arise from causes and conditions. Your effort is the cause, and each fall and rise the condition. This applies to every facet of modern life. When learning to code, James, you might wrestle with errors in a single line dozens of times. When sketching, you might discard countless drafts. Yet each mistake is a lesson, each attempt a brick in the edifice of your capacity. Just as muscles grow stronger through exercise, capability is forged through time and practice. Look at Nick Vujicic, born without arms or legs, who became a world-renowned inspirational speaker. Early on, Nick grappled with despair, mocked by peers, questioning why he was different. But he realized that capacity resides not in the body but in the spirit and will. Through persistence and belief, he learned to swim, write, and inspire millions. He stands as living proof that capability is not confined by circumstance but shaped by how we face it. Similarly, in business, Oprah Winfrey rose from poverty, abuse, and discrimination, refusing to let those define her. She trusted in her storytelling and connection, building a media empire. These examples reveal that, despite the pressures of modern life, each of us carries a unique seed, and nurturing it is a journey worth taking. Buddhism emphasizes virya, tireless perseverance, as a cornerstone of the path to awakening. The Buddha said, "Even as slow as a tortoise, so long as you do not stop, you will reach the goal." In today's world, this means you needn't excel from the start, but you must start to excel. Set small goals, exercise for 5 minutes daily, and gradually build. Each step whispers, "I am capable," and each stumble offers a chance to learn. Failure is not a full stop but a comma in your story of growth. 4. I master my attitude. In modern life, we often get caught in the whirlwind of expectations, believing happiness hinges on external conditions, a fulfilling job, a perfect relationship, or a robust bank account. But when things falter, your boss denies a raise, a partner abruptly cancels a deal, disappointment can easily take hold. This mantra reminds us that while we may not immediately alter the situation, we can shift how we perceive it. For example, instead of viewing a denied raise as a failure, consider, "This is a chance to prove my worth through action or explore a new path." Mastering your attitude isn't about denying reality, it's about transforming how you engage with it. The image of a gardener tending plants offers a profound metaphor, deeply tied to the Buddhist concept of right effort, the diligent cultivation of wholesomeness in the mind. A gardener cannot stop storms or droughts, but they can choose to water, fertilize, and weed to help plants thrive. Similarly, modern life is a garden filled with elements beyond our control, endless traffic jams, a frustrating message from a colleague, or an unexpected bill. Yet we can nurture positivity and resilience within by mastering our attitude. Imagine, Sarah, you're stuck in traffic for hours on your commute. Rather than honking impatiently or fuming, you could turn on a favorite song, take deep breaths, and think, "This is a moment to unwind before a busy day." That attitude doesn't unclog the roads, but it turns a negative experience into one of calm. In Buddhist terms, This is the transformation of consciousness from anger to compassion and wisdom. Your inner garden blooms not because of perfect weather, but because of how you tend it despite the conditions. Today's society is a crucible teeming with triggers that test our ability to control our attitude. A recent study found that the average adult encounters over 10,000 advertising messages daily, from social media to billboards, all fueling a sense of lack and comparison. Add to that everyday scenarios: a critical coworker shooting down your idea in a meeting, a child's defiance after an exhausting workday, or a computer crashing just before a deadline. These moments tempt impulsive reactions, yelling, venting, or retreating into despair. Picture your attitude as a thermostat, a practical analogy for modern life. When a room grows too hot, you don't sit and suffer, you turn down the dial. When it's too cold, you raise the heat. Life is the same. When work pressure makes you overheat with stress, or failure leaves you chilled with despondency, you can adjust your mind to regain balance. A positive attitude isn't pretending all is well, it's refusing to let difficulties dictate your emotions. For instance, when you, James, stay late to finish a report, instead of grumbling, "Why is my life so hard?" adjust your mindset, "I'm honing patience and responsibility." This effort will bear fruit. This shift turns a burdensome task into an opportunity to build emotional resilience. In today's world, where burnout is rampant, over 70% of office workers have experienced it, per a WHO survey. Mastering your attitude is a vital skill. It steadies your spirit, keeping you from being swept into life's chaos. A common misconception is that a positive attitude means ignoring hardship or living in delusion. In Buddhism, it blends right view, seeing reality as it is, with grounded optimism. Facing a stressful workday, you don't deny the pressure but choose to think, "I can't change the workload, but I can control how I approach it." This isn't self-deception, it's an affirmation of inner strength to meet challenges head-on. In our modern context, a positive attitude is crucial amid repeated setbacks. If you, Emily, apply for jobs and face rejections, rather than concluding, "I'm worthless," reframe it, "Each rejection teaches me to refine my resume and interview skills." This refuses to let circumstances rule your mind, turning adversity into motivation. Buddhism calls this the transformation of suffering, not erasing it, but using it as raw material for growth. To live this mantra, start each day with a minute of mindfulness, sit quietly, breathe, and affirm, "Today, I master my attitude." When challenges arise like a harsh email from your boss, practice 3 breaths, inhale, exhale, and choose your response rather than reacting instantly. Instead of replying with irritation, you might write, "Thank you for your feedback, I'll review and respond in detail." This keeps you calm while projecting professionalism. Or consider this: when your Wi-Fi drops during a critical online meeting, instead of complaining, smile lightly and think, "This is a chance to practice patience." Your attitude won't fix the connection, but it reshapes your experience. Over time, mastering your attitude becomes second nature, equipping you to face bigger upheavals like job loss or family strife with clarity and kindness. In our tech-reliant world, attitude's importance shines brighter. A Pew Research survey notes that 41% of social media users feel stressed by negative comments or bad news. Scrolling past a divisive post, you might spiral into anger or anxiety. But with "I master my attitude," you choose to scroll on rather than argue pointlessly or even set the phone aside to reconnect with the present. This emotional resilience safeguards your mind and fosters harmony in a stimulus-saturated world. In the growing realm of remote work, attitude shapes how we connect through screens. A hastily written, sharp-toned email can spark misunderstandings, while a calm, thoughtful one builds trust. Attitude is the bridge between us and the world, mastering it creates a space of peace for ourselves and others. Ultimately, controlling your attitude doesn't just bring personal peace, it radiates kindness, a core Buddhist value. Responding to criticism with calm not only steadies your heart but inspires others. If a waiter spills coffee on you, Michael, instead of snapping, smile and say, "It's fine, everyone has off moments." This frees you from anger and eases their burden. In a tense, divided modern society, such kindness is a healing balm, starting with how you govern your mind. 5. I am grateful. The mantra, "I am grateful," is more than 3 simple words. It's a transformative affirmation rooted in mudita, one of the 4 immeasurables in Buddhism. The Buddha taught in the Metta Sutta that mudita is selfless joy, born from cherishing life's goodness, whether ours or others. Gratitude, in this light, isn't a fleeting emotion sparked by receiving something pleasant. It's an active practice, a state of mind that fosters peace and fulfillment amid life's uncertainties. Whispering, "I am grateful," each morning sows seeds for a day lived with an open heart and a serene spirit. Picture a weary traveler lost in a desert who stumbles upon a cool stream, a poignant metaphor reflecting the Buddhist truths of impermanence and suffering. Life, like that arid expanse, often brims with trials, work stress, family conflicts, financial worries. In such moments, we fixate on our thirst, what we lack, overlooking the streams of blessing ever present, however small. That stream might be a friend's encouragement, a quiet morning, or simply the ability to breathe without pain. Gratitude is the lens revealing these streams, not erasing all problems but nourishing the soul enough to carry on. Modern life sweeps us into a rush of busyness and unease. A grueling day of back-to-back meetings might blind you to the roof awaiting your return or the warm meal prepared. Practicing, "I am grateful," redirects your focus from struggles to blessings. If a meeting flops, Emily, instead of dwelling in self-blame, pause and reflect, "I'm grateful for the chance to learn today, for colleagues to share this with." This shift soothes the mind and widens the heart, unveiling joy in the seemingly mundane. Today's world, fueled by social media and consumerism, breeds a sense of scarcity. A Pew Research survey found over 50% of users feel pressured comparing their lives to others' lavish trips, perfect family photos, career triumphs. This echoes tanha in Buddhism, relentless craving that chases grand goals while missing present treasures. You might wonder, why aren't I richer? Why not as successful as them? But gratitude, like a magnifying glass, amplifies overlooked gifts, a child's smile, sunlight through a window, a full night's rest. Scrolling Instagram, James, you see a friend's new car. Instead of envy, say, "I'm grateful for my legs to walk, my means to get around." This practice doesn't deny ambition but guards against the spiral of anger and delusion that dims present joy. Gratitude turns an ordinary day extraordinary not by adding something new, but by revealing the worth of what's already yours. To embody this mantra, try a simple yet potent practice. Each morning, spend 3 minutes listing 3 things you cherish: a fragrant coffee, the health to rise, a family's love. In the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha urged disciples to reflect on life's blessings to cultivate mudita. This trains the mind and reshapes your worldview. A hectic workday feels lighter when you recall, "I'm grateful for my job, for the chance to contribute." In our tech-driven age, gratitude counters digital stress. Facing a curt email from your boss, Sarah, rather than snapping back, pause and think, "I'm grateful this job sustains me, teaches me skillful communication." This not only eases tension but turns negativity into a chance to hone compassion and calm. Over time, gratitude becomes a habit, a natural lens through which you view life's facets. Buddhism teaches that gratitude isn't just personal, it ripples positivity outward. Living, I am grateful, you transform your inner world and uplift others. Smiling and saying thank you to a delivery worker after their long day, Michael, not only honors them but plants a seed of goodness in their heart. In a modern society rife with isolation and strain, such small acts spark a domino effect of kindness. In a workplace meeting, starting with, "I'm grateful you all made time today," sets a warm tone and inspires colleagues to value collaboration. Gratitude becomes a bridge to harmonious living. As the Buddha taught, the greatest happiness is bringing happiness to others. While we readily thank others' family, friends, co-workers, we often forget ourselves. In a world of self-criticism and perfectionism, I am grateful reminds us to cherish our own being. Reflect, I'm grateful for hands that worked hard today, a heart beating steady despite fatigue. This is self-compassion, vital in Buddhism, balancing care for others with care for oneself. After a long day falling short of goals, James, instead of self-reproach, say, I'm grateful I tried, I'm still learning. This gratitude eases pressure, nurtures self-belief, and lays a foundation to press forward. In a competitive world, valuing yourself preserves your inner flame, enriching each day. Each morning is a sacred gateway, a chance to rewrite your life story. These principles aren't mere affirmations, they're guiding lights, drawn from the timeless wisdom of Buddhism. By taking responsibility, affirming your capability, fostering gratitude, pursuing growth, and mastering your attitude, you build an inner fortress of peace, unshaken by any storm. Zen philosophy teaches, you cannot control the ocean's waves, but you can learn to surf. Life will always bring uncertainties, but your response shapes reality. Each mantra is a mindful step toward a meaningful, resilient, and compassionate existence. View your morning practice as planting seeds in your mind's garden. Tend them daily with mindfulness, and they'll blossom into clarity, strength, and joy. Remember, growth isn't a race to a finish line, it's savoring each moment as a lesson, each challenge as a gift. With this mindset, every day becomes an awakening. Reflecting on these principles, which mantra resonates most with you? Share in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share this video to spread inspiration to others seeking peace. And subscribe to Light of Mindfulness for more valuable Buddhist insights as we together build a world of greater calm and awareness.